Well, federal employees suing Elon Musk over this email. You see it right here behind me, sent to millions. It happened Saturday. Here's what it asks. What did you do last week? The email demands employees list 5 things that they accomplished. The directive, previewed in a post by Elon Musk on X, threatens, quote, failure to respond will be taken as a resignation, close quote. And by the way, there's a deadline, a ticking clock here, midnight tonight. So here's the fallout. 5 agencies encouraging employees not to respond. The Department of Defense, the FBI, and the Department of National Intelligence among them. Those are some heavy hitter organizations there on your screen. So let's go live to CBS News White House reporter Olivia Rinaldi. All right, so Olivia, this is so confusing at this hour because bosses are saying to ignore. Lawyers are lawyering. How is this playing out today in D.C.?
Hey, Reed, it's good to be with you. The 6 words that really sent shockwaves across the federal government. What did you do last week? Elon Musk now asking people to reply to this email, 5 bullet points of something they did last week, what they accomplished. And if they don't reply by 5 p.m. today, that's considered their resignation. We're starting to see, though, some pushback from secretaries across the government. You named a few there. Let me walk you through a little bit more detail there. Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, told her employees not to respond because some of the work they do, most of the work they do, is critical and highly classified. Probably not something you should be responding to on an email thread about. The Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel Readiness at the Pentagon told employees, quote, when and if required, the department will coordinate responses to the email you've received from OPM. But for now, please pause any response to the OPM email titled, what did you do last week? So now this is some of the pushback we're seeing from federal agencies, secretaries, undersecretaries across the government against Elon Musk and Doge. But it's also raising a lot of questions, namely among them security. If you have 2.3 million federal employees writing back on an email chain about what they did last week, it can almost amount to a national security issue, laying out what all federal employees across the government are doing. So important to note there, but also questions of who will be combing through these emails to see what they accomplished last week. What is the threshold for adequate work when responding to this email? What if someone replied and didn't list out what they did? It wasn't 5 things that they listed out. A lot of questions about what this actually means, especially for a federal workforce of the scale I mentioned, 2.3 million people. This isn't a private company. This is the government. Right. So it'll be interesting to see what's actually the fallout and the impact from not answering this email or answering it incorrectly.
And a reminder, we're talking about a non-elected official on his own platform that generates income telling federal workers, government employees, that this will be seen as a resignation if they don't respond. But I have to ask, despite the pushback, we are seeing some fall in line. Let's take, for example, Sean Duffy. Of course, we know he's the transportation secretary. He posted on that very social media platform his answer. What did he say? What did you see?
Yeah, if there's one cabinet secretary that is complying, it is Sean Duffy with the Department of Transportation. Let's walk through what he said on that post, the 5 things he says he did last week. Number 1, quoting here, paraphrasing, he said he terminated congestion pricing in New York. 2, he launched an investigation into California's high-speed rail project that cost several $billions over a number of years. 3, he said he saved $10 million a year by eliminating, quote, redundant and outdated landlines, end quote. He also visited the Air Traffic Control Command Center in Virginia to talk about the critical tech upgrades there and why we would need to make our air traffic control system the envy of the world. And 5, he said he went out to Burbank, California to tour a control tower out there and hear from those controllers about how to improve conditions and retain and recruit controllers. I should note, though, that this email was also received by air traffic controllers who voiced concern and confusion about what exactly this meant for them. The union telling their people to pause on replying until they got more clarity from the Department of Transportation about what exactly this meant. This is also a workforce that works usually about 6 days a week on antiquated technology and is often very focused on landing planes and the safety around that. Now we are hearing from the Department of Transportation that they are required to answer this email and justify what they accomplished last week, being airline safety professionals. So this now loops in folks like them who are doing critical work, who are now having to explain on this email exactly what they do.
And it's only Monday. Got to ask you about this. Elon Musk, he also had another warning for federal employees about returning to office. What was that warning?
Yes, this was another post on X that came out. Elon Musk said that government workers will be placed on administrative leave if they don't return to work this week. This is, of course, an executive order that Trump had signed among his first days in office. Musk says that they were given a month warning, and if they don't come back, they are placed on administrative leave. We know that a lot of workers have been coming back into the office. It's been quite congested here in D.C. with some traffic and the metro lines being more full than years previously. But interesting to note that this is coming from Elon Musk, not from the White House directly, but from what is a senior advisor and special government employee making these mandates.
All right, lots to keep track of. Olivia and Rinaldi, thank you so much. Always good to talk to you.